Hey, y'all, this is yours truly, Dr. Eddie Connor, and this is the Lifeline in Overtime. We are grateful for the critical and courageous conversation tonight to address the pain in our nation, unwrap it, but also provide perspective. I was honored to be a part of our men's meeting organized by the visionary prophetess Taryn Tarver, amazing guests such as her father, Mr. Tarver, Prophet Dre Adams, Mr. Reggie Fams, and Prophet Dallas Stokes. I'm reminded that everybody will not march, everybody will not protest, but all of us can still be an activist. Many of us are angry tonight, and we have righteous indignation with all that is going on in our nation. And the Bible said to be angry, but to sin not. And so what we must do is we must redirect that anger that can easily become danger and transform our anger into action. I really think that we must plan and prepare for what we seek God about in prayer. And here are I want to share with you 4 ways to throw our rock of resilience, if you will, in the ocean. How to create a ripple effect and ultimately allow that ripple effect to be a way for change. First thing that you can do is you can fill out your census report. Everybody's at home now. Stay home, stay safe is the mandate, and so you can actually fill that out online. It's important that we do that because we're oftentimes undercounted and underrepresented, and as a result, we will be underfunded if we don't take inventory of that. You say, well, what's the purpose of that? Well, what's connected to the census report are congressional seats, funding for public schools, teacher salaries, buildings being constructed in the neighborhood, and many of those other things as well that are directly connected to our livelihood, and especially neighborhoods that are often thrown away and disregarded. Another thing that we can do, and probably one of the most radical things that you can do, is to register to vote. Not just for who's president and the federal government, but for your local government. Many of you watching me are in states where you've got primaries coming up. Of course, the election coming up in November. And oftentimes we're just focused solely on federal government, and we sure enough need to be. But we also need to be voting for judges. We need to be voting for attorney general. We need to be voting for police review boards. And these elected officials who matter most importantly are connected to reforming police departments. It's connected to the criminal justice system at work on the state and local levels. Protests and policies really must work hand in hand to change policies, mobilizing to raise awareness, but also organizing and casting our ballots. So we've really got to make sure that our voice is heard in the primaries, but that our voices are also heard through our vote with this election coming up in November. Thirdly now, if you don't look like me, you can still fight for me. I know you may say, well, you may be Asian, you may be Hispanic, you may be Caucasian, you may not look like me at all, but guess what? You can still fight for me and with me, especially our Caucasian brothers and sisters, by acknowledging your privilege and really using your privilege as a platform to advocate for national police reform, to really advocate for bringing transformative change. To those who have the privilege, we need you to speak truth to power. Let's not talk about the looting, but not fail to mention the whole aspect of what caused it. And so I think that's very, very important to be able to do. Last but not least, Dr. King declared that poverty is the bride of crime. Wherever you see crime, poverty is close by. I think it's worth noting that Dr. King died, was assassinated rather, murdered, killed, mentioning the day previous to his death, to his assassination, he talked about redistributing the wealth, especially in our communities. Simply because as Black people, we have a $1.3 trillion buying power. However, we only spend 1% of our resources with people who look like us. If we transform that 1% to 10%, we could create 1 million new jobs. Here it is. We can do reverse looting through selective spending. And that's by giving green dollars to Black businesses. And we can redistribute the wealth that we have in our community. And here it is. If you own a business, support another Black business. Let me say that again. If you own a business, you can do this now. Support another Black business. If you don't own a business, still support a Black business. According to the Washington Post, they mentioned that 40% of Black business owners are now out of work. Businesses are shut down, or those who work for those Black businesses are furloughed. And so we can speak truth to power by the whole aspect of filling out your census. You can speak truth to power by the whole aspect of not only registering to vote, but also casting your ballot. You can speak truth to power by using your privilege as a platform to be an anti-racist, to be someone who advocates for the least, the lost, the left out, the last, the overlooked, the underserved, and the underrepresented. And then last but not least, you can speak truth to power with your green dollars, supporting Black businesses. Listen, thank you for the Lifeline Overtime. I'm Dr. Eddie Connor. I approve this message. Share this video on your timeline. It literally could be our nation's lifeline. Peace and love.